Alright guys, this is I'm in house on 1000 FPS. Or maybe close to 1000 FPS. Like 700 like this. Well, I'm actually at 1000 FPS right here. I've joined the server. And I'm getting 1000 FPS. Or probably close to 1000. Like 800 FPS. When I don't record my game frame, it's going to be around 1000. At this rate. I've only got 800 frames a second on my game. And I'm recording on 1080p 120 FPS. If I increase the priority on one of the apps, I should be able to get that 1000 FPS somewhere. Send that to real time. I think we just gained like another, like somewhere over 100 FPS. If I turn off CPU 0, does that increase FPS? Yeah, it did actually increase it a little bit. But this is close to 1000 anyway. We're playing at just around really close to 1000 FPS. Like pre-clear everything, it's like 900 FPS. Oh, I hit 1000 then. It's barely easy, it's barely hard to see. I'm basically hitting 1000 FPS in the game. Everything's like 1000 FPS. Let's see what ping I'm gonna get at 1000 FPS. 12 milliseconds of ping. Only 12 milliseconds of ping on 1000 FPS. 1000 FPS admin house and 12 ping. If I drop the resolution lower, I should be able to get around 1000 frames a second. I'm going to drop it to quarter of the resolution. Oops, it's saying it's encoding overloaded for some reason now. It's not letting me scale it to a window. Anyways, one of my players just joined, right there. And I hopped onto a server again. I hopped in again, and I'm now getting like lower the FPS. I'm now getting 800 frames a second on this game. What a weird way for frame rates to occur. Probably because I'm getting an encoding overloaded screen. I can't even change the setting. I can't even get it to select to. It's stuck selecting. It's stuck. But anyways, we're just getting around like 1000 frames a second almost. But that's only in 1080p. However, I've downscaled the resolution down. And now I'm getting like not that 1000 FPS ping now. Because we're GPU bottlenecked or something. We're CPU bottlenecked. So that means if I upgrade to an 9700F, I can get 1000 frames a second. I can get 1000 FPS in the game. If I change my resolution to 1080p, 125% screen scaling, I'm gonna have 1000 frames. I just touched 1000 then. I just touched 1000. I turn off like this chat, I'm gonna get 1000. A proper 1000 frames. If I change the controller, I'm gonna get 1000 frames a second.
No, you're still alive? I bet.
Yep, I'm 1000 frames a second. Oh my god, I'm playing on 1000 frames a second. 1000 frames a second. I'm on controller anyway, so I'm getting at 1000 FPS game now. I'm on 1000 frames a second. If I disable the cursor, let me just try my attempts to like disable the cursor. And there you go. I'm now getting 1000 frames a second without the cursor. The cursor gives you less FPS. So I'm like playing the game at 1000. But what I can't do is well, there's no control UI for typing. So how are we playing in 1000 frames a second? Using a PS5 controller. We are using a PS5 controller to play the game instead of keyboard and mouse. Because keyboard and mouse loses FPS. Whilst controller, well, you gain around more than around 60 more frames a second. So this is like 1000 frames a second game. If I load something, frame rate's gonna drop. One of my guys like jumping or something. Oops, and stuff keeps changing. My control just keeps changing. It's done one low graphics, and I'm getting 1000 frames a second. I can't click or anything. For some reason. Oh, I clicked then. Oh, because it was on the top of the screen. I didn't even see. So if I use the roller coaster build, then my frame rate's going to drop to around 900 frames, 800 frames a second. So we are potentially playing this game at 1000 frames a second. 1000 frames a second. If I overclock a little bit more on my GPU, then I'm going to get that 1000 FPS constant. I'm going to overclock it. I'm overclocking my GPU. Right, let's don't overclock it. Let's do the overclock. Yeah, my GPU's limited at 1755 for some reason. Right, overclock it. Overclock. Okay, overclock's done. I should be able to get 1000 frames a second in my game. What the hell? Something's messed up there. I don't know if this is correct, but I've overclocked the memory, and everything's sized 128 studs bigger. And I froze for a second. And I froze for well, I froze. Ah, keep freezing. It's my game. It's the memory. If I, well, disable the cursor again, I'm going to get 1000 frames a second. 1000 frames a second in a game. Ah! And everyone got killed. Severely. Oh, everyone this time. Only me got killed. Maybe that's because of GPU glitches. Because parts are flying away. For somehow reason, I need to unload the build. And refresh my build. I've turned down all the graphic settings for this game to get 1000 FPS. Like 1000 frames a second on low graphics. If I turn this up to max graphics, I'm going to get 700 FPS. And we are we're CPU limited. We're CPU capped. Because we're capped at 1755 megahertz. Something that isn't allowed for the GPU is reset, so playing this game at just 1000 frames a second. Right, 1000 frames a second in this game. Playing on a PS5 controller, I'm gonna get 1000 frames a second. If I disconnect all my peripherals, like my stuff, it's gonna get like 1000 frames a second. So now we get 1000 frames, it's on 1000 FPS. We got 1000 FPS. And we need to check our CPU. Yeah, that's 500 then. Because there you go, it just reached 1000 because it said the CPU is. CPU says it's 1.6 milliseconds, 1.2, 1.6, 1.49, 1.9, 1.8 milliseconds on the CPU. There were like ways to overclock stuff, but it seems like to me if I enable performance stats, it's, well, a low 1000 FPS in my Amon House game. So we're hitting 1000 frames a second in the game. But don't see it. If you like to do shift and F5, then we're going to lose around 20 FPS. So right now we're getting around 1000 FPS in our Amon House game. So 1000 FPS, that's like a full frame, 1000 frames. Weirdest way possible is that I'm playing on a 200Hz monitor. And this is a thing. We're playing this game at 1000 frames a second. So that was our 1000 FPS gameplay on Amon House. So anyways, like and subscribe, turn on notifications, and see you next time in the next Amon House videos.